Her Highness Sheikha Mahra bint Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, the Princess of Dubai, has said on social media that she and her husband are no longer together. "Dear husband, since you are busy with other people, I'm filing for divorce." People all over the internet shared these words. The split didn't happen like most do on July 17, 2024. This is what Sheikha Mahra bint Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, who is the daughter of the King of Dubai, said. There was a lot of talk when she said she was divorcing Sheikh Mahra bin Mohammed bin Rashid bin Mana Al Maktoum. It came as a surprise. Mahra and Mana looked like they would make a great match at first glance. It seemed like they had a lot of pictures and posts about each other, and they had just recently had a daughter. One more thing was wrong though. What would the families do? That's now clear, since Sheikh Mohammed just told everyone about his brave choice about Sheikha Mahra's husband after the split. It's a big deal for people who know the man. What people say about Sheikh Mohammed and his family. Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum was born on July 15, 1949, and is a very important person in the political and business life of the United Arab Emirates. Following the death of his brother Maktoum bin Rashid Al Maktoum in 2006, he became the leader of Dubai and the vice president and prime minister of the UAE. Dubai has become a global metropolis under Sheikh Mohammed's leadership. It is known for its high-class lifestyle, innovative architecture, and smart economic endeavors. Famous sites like the Burj Khalifa, the world's tallest building, and big projects like the Palm Islands and the Burj Al Arab Hotel have been built during his time in office. These have changed the city's skyline and made it a more popular tourist spot. There is another side to the man, especially when it comes to how he treats his girls, including Sheikha Mahra. Any way you look at it, Sheikh Mohammed is seen as a millionaire and the best real estate developer in the world. Because he has a clear vision, the government has been able to start many businesses such as Emirates Airline and DP World, which are very important to Dubai's economy and its role as a global trade hub. In addition to being a politician and leader, Sheikh Mohammed is also a very good horse rider. He started the Godolphin stable, which is famous all over the world for horse races. He also watches over Darley, a global business for breeding thoroughbreds. His love of horse sports led him to compete in the 2012 FA World Endurance Championship, where he rode Maggie DuPont over 160 kilometers. This showed how dedicated he was to promoting horse sports in the area. But Sheikh Mohammed's rule has not been without controversy, even though he has made important advances to the region's growth. People criticize the UAE's autocratic system because it doesn't have any political institutions and doesn't allow people to speak out against the government. In March 2020, a British court found that Sheikh Mohammed had kidnapped his daughters Shamsa and Latifa and made threats against his ex-wife, Princess Haya bint Hussein. This part of his leadership became much clearer. So it makes sense to wonder what will happen to Sheikha Mahra now. But before we go that way, let's look at the bigger picture. Sheikha Mahra is the famous lady of Dubai. She spends a lot of time on social media. She was radiant, sure of herself, incredibly beautiful, and very well behaved. The best mix possible. People from all over the world have a lot of respect and love for her, which makes sense. On February 26, 1994, Sheikha Mahra bint Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum was born. Her parents are Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum and Zoe Gorikos, who is Greek. The year her parents got married was 1979, and Sheikh Mohammed was becoming a well-known politician in the UAE. He was the Crown Prince of Dubai and the Minister of Defense of the United Arab Emirates at that time. Dubai was growing from a small trade port on the coast to a big city. After getting married, the pair moved to Dubai and became a part of the city's fast growth and modernization. The perks and burdens of being royal meant that they had to balance their private lives with what the public expected of them. Sheikha Mahra bint Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum is one of their 3 children. Sheikha Mahra is famous as a social media influencer and philanthropist, and Sheikh Zayed and Sheikh Rashid have done many government and charitable activities, just like their father. People have said that their relationship is more private than some other royal weddings. Like other royal wives, Zoe stayed out of the public eye a lot of the time. People think of them as having a more regular marriage because of this. However, there were problems in their relationship which led to their split around 2019. Zoe is still connected to the royal family through their daughter, Sheikha Mahra, who has become a well-known public figure. The couple has kept their relationship private. Sheikha Mahra learned about both Emirati and Greek customs while growing up in a royal family. These experiences shaped her morals and views on life. A very close bond forms between Sheikha Mahras and her mother, whose caring presence has had a big impact on her life. Zoe, who is known for being graceful and classy, has been very important in teaching Maharaj traditional values and pushing her to be herself. The way they share experiences and enjoy important events shows how close their motherly bond is. This shows how trust and understanding are important in a family. Sheikha Mahra doesn't talk to her father as much as she used to. Even though Sheikh Mohammed is a well-known person in the UAE, he hasn't been seen on Mahra's social media accounts, which has led to questions about their relationship. Even though Mahra often posts about her life, her posts about her father aren't very common, which could mean that she doesn't feel close to him anymore. Even though they live far apart, her dad still wants her to be happy and successful. He often supports her work as a social media influencer and charity. It's clear that Sheikha Mahra is a complex person because she handles her jobs as a businesswoman, social media influencer, and philanthropist with such grace. People know her as a famous person, not just because she is royal. She interacts with her fans on a number of platforms where she talks about her personal life, her hobbies, and the causes she supports. She uses her growing fan base to bring attention to important social problems, especially those that affect women and children. She really cares about helping others and is very active in projects that aim to make the lives of poor people in the UAE and other places better. Through her charitable foundation, she funds health and education programs as well as job training that are designed to give women more power. Sheikha Mahra also works hard to help local designers. She supports local artists by showing them off at events like the annual Icon exhibition, where she talks about how important it is to keep traditional crafts alive while also supporting new ideas in fashion and design. By endorsing these designers on her show, she does a lot to raise the profile of their work and making sure that the richness of Emirati heritage is honored and known by more people. Even though she is a princess, Sheikha Mahra keeps a down-to-earth attitude that her fans love. Her down-to-earth personality and sincere desire to empower women make her stand out from other royal figures, who are often seen as distant. She regularly interacts with her audience by sharing personal stories and experiences that make her more real and easy to relate to. Her work to support women's rights and her participation in business and charitable projects make her an even more impressive role model for today. She uses her power to bring about good changes, and her work is likely to inspire a whole new breed of leaders. But none of this happened all at once. Sheikha Mahra has a great educational past that shows how much she cares about leadership and personal growth. At the Mohammed bin Rashid School of Government, she finished a rapid leadership program. This school is known for helping people in the public sector become better leaders. Participants in this school learn important skills in governance, strategic thinking, and making good decisions. She has also done a lot of studying abroad, mostly in the US, where she worked on classes that combine business knowledge with leadership skills. She is also known for being very interested in many things, such as horseback riding, which shows how much she loves animals and the outdoors. She learned how to ride horses and has taken part in many horse-related events because she grew up in a royal family that is known for its long history with horses. She really likes horses. It's not just a hobby for her. It shows how much she cares about animal health and how much she respects these beautiful animals. Her love of horses often shows how much she values control, grace, and the bond that forms between a rider and a horse, which is another example of her complex personality. She has a big following on social media, where she shares bits and pieces of her life, hobbies, and charitable work. Her social media pages show a mix of personal moments, professional accomplishments, and support for causes close to her heart, such as empowering women and preserving local culture. She uses her platform to make her voice heard on important social problems, which gets her followers involved in deep conversations. She has an impact that goes beyond numbers. She actively supports programs that help local artists and businesses and build up the neighborhood. Overall, Sheikha Mahra is a great example of a modern royal person who cares about both their own growth and the well-being of others. It makes sense that people would be interested in her personal life, especially her bond with Sheikh Mana. How did that go? When it comes to business and fame in the Emirates, Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid bin Mana Al Maktoum is a well-known figure. Sheikh Mana and Sheikha Mahra's relationship grew in a royal setting that encouraged relationships between young people from respected families. They met through groups of friends that Emirati royals often hang out with, probably at family events or royal events. The couple respected each other and liked the same things, which made their bond strong, especially when doing things with horses. They both loved riding horses and often took part in events and games that had to do with horses. People were interested in their love story, especially since it took place in a time and place with royal expectations and cultural importance. When they announced they were getting married in early 2021, it got a lot of attention from the media. People in the UAE were thrilled and looking forward to hearing this news. People are very interested in royal engagements, and Sheikha Mahra's father, Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, was very important in how people saw their engagement. As the ruler of Dubai and vice president of the UAE, his backing and approval gave the union a level of prestige and importance that was felt all over the Emirates. People in Dubai, as well as people in royal circles, were happy about the marriage. Their very expensive wedding was very big and happened in 2022. It was very fancy, just like a royal wedding. The ceremony was full of traditional Emirati customs, beautiful decorations, and expensive clothes that showed how important the pair was in their culture. People were very interested in their relationship, and pictures and videos from the event were shared on social media by guests and participants. Influencers and famous people alike praised the union, which made people even more interested. Royal family members, high-level government officials, important business leaders, and dignitaries from all over the Middle East and beyond were among the guests. There were parties and other events for several days after the wedding. Sheikha Mahra and Sheikh Mana had a lovely honeymoon in the beautiful Greek islands after their wedding. During their time in Greece, they enjoyed peaceful activities like strolling along beautiful beaches at sunset and eating in fancy restaurants with views of the clear blue water. They posted pictures of their holiday on social media, showing both the beautiful scenery and the happy times they had together. But their love story happened in the midst of scandals and problems in the royal family. Even with these problems, the bond between Sheikha Mahra and Sheikh Mohammed was a sign of love and loyalty in the family. Many people were moved by how the couple handled the challenges of royal life while staying committed to each other. That was until the messy split on July 17, 2024. In the months after they got married, the couple was often seen together at public events and social gatherings, making it look like they were the perfect pair. At this time, their relationship was marked by public shows of affection and a shared dedication to a number of charitable causes. Many people admired Sheikha Massachusetts Ra for her charitable work, which was often talked about along with Sheikh Mana's business projects. This cooperation helped them have a nice public image, where they were seen as a powerful pair committed to both their own happiness and making a difference in the world. At the same time, though, the fundamentals of their relationship started to change over time. The stresses of being a king and being watched closely by the public began to wear them down. At first, they put on a united front, but soon there were signs of tension. People who were once crazy about their fairy tale romance started to notice small changes in how they talked to each other. The birth of their daughter was a big moment in their relationship. There were rising tensions behind the scenes, but the couple shared glimpses of family life on social media, showing sweet moments with their newborn. But as rumors spread, stories of fights came out, which showed how complicated their marriage was. While the couple continued to do their royal duties, the public's view of them as a happy pair started to break down. Then, on that terrible day, the news that Sheikha Mahra and Sheikh Mana were getting a divorce shocked both the people and the royal family. At first, it seemed like a fairy tale marriage, but soon it turned into a public breakup that caused a lot of speculation and close media attention. Sheikha Mahra told everyone about it on Instagram, which surprised a lot of people because the couple had been showing off their happiness. The post was pretty plain, with no dramatic flourishes that would have led anyone to believe that the couple's relationship was over. When the news of the split came out, people were shocked, confused, and interested. Many people had strong feelings about the couple's relationship and had been excited for their wedding and been watching their family on social media. People were surprised by how quickly the news came out, causing a lot of talk on social media and among people who follow the royal family. For many, this social media split was both new and brave. In a world where public figures usually use traditional media to make these kinds of announcements, Mahra's choice to use her social media account was at least unique. Some people praised her honesty, while others wondered why such a private matter was being made public. What had happened, though? Sheikha Mahra didn't say much about the problems in her personal life that led to the divorce, but there have been a lot of reports that Sheikh Mana cheated on her. There has been no public confirmation or presentation of direct evidence to support these claims. However, Mahra's social media post and the hints of a major breach of trust have led to more speculation. Both sides have not said anything directly about these reports. It's important to think about the idea of companionship and marriage standards in their culture. In the United Arab Emirates, tradition and social norms often shape how people think about marriage. Family honor and the group's image are very important. Breaking up a royal marriage, especially one that was widely praised, went against social rules. This must have been very hard for Mahra. It was usual for royal families to have more than one marriage, which is where Sheikha Mahra comes from. She has made it clear, though, that she wants to be monogamous because she wants a deep emotional bond more than the traditional expectations that were set for her by her upbringing. Mahra wants a single, serious relationship, but that's not what society expects of her. This difference shows how gender roles and expectations are discussed in Emirati society as a whole. Her brave response to the divorce news shows a change in how young people in the UAE see marriage, friendship, and personal freedom in a country that is quickly becoming more modern. But there was still one problem. Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum is his name. What the patriarch said, the way Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum treats his girls, especially Sheikh Alabama Latifa and Sheikha Shamsa, has caused a lot of attention and controversy around the world. It is known that both girls tried to leave Dubai, saying that they didn't like the rules and restrictions in their lives. In July 2000, when she was 19, Sheikha Shamsa tried to show that she was free from what she saw as the restrictions of her family's standards and way of life. She ran away from the family farm in the UK and was caught in Cambridge. Reports say that spies working for Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum found her and brought her back to Dubai against her will. A lot of people didn't like what she did, especially since she wanted to be free. When she got back to Dubai, she was locked up and had little to no contact with the outside world. This made her speechless and limited her ability to talk to family and friends. Shamsa's story has come up again in recent years because people are still fighting for her freedom and rights. Human rights groups and campaigners have brought her case to the attention of the public and asked for openness and accountability in her confinement and care since she returned to Dubai. The only thing we know for sure is that she is not the only one going through this. In 2018, her sister Sheikha Latifa also tried to leave Dubai. Sheikha Latifa's plan was carefully thought out. It included a risky escape that would show off her and free her from her family's restrictions. To get away, she first took a car to Oman, where she planned to get on a boat. The boat, Nemo, was going to take her across the Indian Ocean to India, where she planned to hide. Tina Jajanen, a Finnish capoeira teacher, and Herve Jobert, a French-American former intelligence officer, helped make this bold plan happen, who had set up rescue plans for people in similar situations before. The escape did not go as planned, which is a shame. A few days into the trip, the yacht was stopped by an operation involving both Indian and Emirati troops near the coast of India. Latifa was taken back to Dubai against her will and locked up in a tight facility. When she got back, her family was closely watched over how they treated her. Before and during her effort to escape, Latifa made a number of videos in which she talked about her fears for her safety and the years she spent being confined and controlled by her father. In these movies, she talked about how her life was restrictive, how she felt trapped, and how she wanted to be free. When these facts came out, human rights groups, campaigners, and famous people around the world spoke out against her treatment and called for her freedom. The UN also got involved and asked for proof that Latifa was okay. Because of this, pictures and films of her in Dubai were released at random. Many people, though, aren't sure about these pictures and videos. So, the father hasn't had a very good track record. Sheikha Mahra may be afraid of what will happen if she goes against the family's rules because she has seen how determined her father is to keep his girls from living on their own or making their own decisions. This worry might be made worse by the fact that she knows her father has gone to great lengths to control Latifa and Shamsa, even though the whole world has criticized him and his image has been hurt. Because of these things, it's possible that Sheikha Mahra felt a lot of worry and fear, knowing how harshly her father punished his girls when they did something he didn't want them to do. Mahra may have made decisions about her life, relationships, and choices differently because she was under a lot of tight control and could be punished. Even though Mahra likes to act more public and independent, she is still affected by how her father dealt with family problems, especially with Latifa and Shamsa. Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum didn't say anything in public about the split. He is known for being authoritative but private when dealing with family matters. His approach to this case seems to be in line with his usual preference for privacy, especially when dealing with sensitive issues. Sheikh Mohammed has shown in the past that he wants to carefully control the story of family scandals involving his daughters Latifa and Shamsa, putting the family's honor and reputation first. Sheikh Mohammed's response to Sheikha Mahra's divorce is probably also to try to stop any gossip or public attention that could hurt him. Even though we don't know for sure what he did or how he felt about the divorce, it seems likely that he has been very active behind the scenes, making sure that the situation doesn't get worse and become a bigger scandal. That could hurt the family's image or standing in the UAE and elsewhere. His stance may show how he deals with family problems in general, focusing on staying in charge and minimizing the damage to Dubai's and his own public image. When it comes to Mahra's case, the father seems to be a very helpful person. Sheikha Mahra is still out in public and doing a lot of different social and charitable things. She has quickly returned to her royal tasks and has continued to help good causes. The Rashid Center for People of Determination recently had its 30th anniversary party, which was Sheikha Mahra's first public performance. She also supports and often goes to events in the UAE that work to improve education, health, and women's rights. She actively supports local designers and often takes part in events that show off local talent. Like the Icons exhibition, where she was seen supporting fashion names from her own country. Her participation in these projects shows how much she cares about promoting diversity and supporting local talent. Sheikha Mahra is also known for her charitable work. Sheikha Mahra often visits places like the Rashid Center and takes part in events that help children and strong people. Attending events where she shared moving moments with kids has led to comparisons to the kind actions of the late Princess Diana. Her life looks like it's going as planned so far. But where does the father figure fit in? Even though he hasn't said anything in public, a few hints can help us figure out what's going on. Before Mahra announced her split, Sheikh Mohammed and Sheikh Mana were seen together in public several times. They went to a lot of public and charitable events together, which shows that they had similar hobbies and family ties. But since they got divorced, the public relationship between the two has changed. Reports say they haven't been seen together since the news came out, and Sheikh Mohammed has grown apart from Sheikh Mana. In the past, they were often pictured at events together. As of now, Sheikh Mohammed and Sheikh Mana haven't been seen or talked to in public since their split, which shows that their relationship has changed in a big way. It's clear that Sheikh Mohammed is behind his daughter in the divorce, no matter what he thinks about it. What about Emiratis in general and Mahras' fans on social media, though? How people feel about the breakup? The divorce news came out of the blue, which took everyone by surprise at first, but it had effects on Emirati society and the wider Islamic community. It led to important conversations about social norms and standards, especially when it came to women's rights and roles in these situations. In an area where religious and cultural traditions often affect personal relationships, this event has shown how complicated marriage, divorce, and the roles of men and women can be. One of the most important effects of Sheikh Mahra's divorce news could be that it changes the way people think about women's rights to start a divorce. In many Islamic cultures, women who want to get a divorce, which is called khula, are sometimes looked down upon or judged. Khula is the Islamic process that lets women start the divorce process. It is allowed in many countries, including Egypt, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Indonesia, Turkey, and Jordan. These countries show the different levels of acceptance and rules for how to do things with khula, which affects social norms about women's rights to get divorced. But people in the Emirati society are less open to the idea. Under the country's laws, it is still allowed. Has started a conversation about women's freedom and control in marriage. Many people in the Islamic community have praised her decision as a brave step toward defending women's rights that shows how important it is for women to be able to say what they want and need in a marriage. The topic has started new arguments about how traditional Islamic law should be interpreted when it comes to marriage and divorce, to back more progressive views that recognize women's right to start and pursue a divorce. Since this news came out, there have been more general conversations about the place of women in Islamic societies, especially in royal families. Women in royal families have always been expected to keep the family respect and social order, even if it meant sacrificing their own happiness. The way Sheikha Mahra talks about her marriage and divorce in public goes against these historical norms and gives us a more nuanced picture of what it's like for women to live in royal homes. It makes people think again about how women in these roles handle their identities and duties. This leads to conversations about empowerment, self-determination, and the need for support from society in the choices they make. People talked even more about the split after the news came out, thanks to the media frenzy that followed. Numerous news sources and social media sites published a lot of articles, analyses, and opinions about the royal couple's relationship, some of which made their personal lives seem more interesting than they really were. This attention brings to light how closely people in the public eye, especially those with royal ties, are watched. The media's attention on the couple's relationship dynamics, the problems that are said to have led to the divorce, and the social effects of their split led to a lot of rumors and speculation. This showed how intrusive media coverage of royal affairs can be. Different people had very different responses to the news of the divorce. Some were shocked and upset, while others supported Mahra's choice. A lot of people made guesses about the couple's bond, looking at their public looks and interactions on social media for signs of underlying tensions. Their love story, which was praised at first for its beauty and grandeur, became a hot topic of conversation after they got divorced. This led to questions about how real it was and the pressures royal couples feel to keep up a public image. This close attention shows how interested people are in royal families in general. People's private lives are often looked at and judged by the public. It's impossible to overstate how much social media has changed how people think about royal weddings. Social media sites like Instagram and Twitter have changed how people talk about and think about the royal family. They allow the public and the royals to interact directly with each other. The fact that Sheikha Mahra announced her divorce on social media showed not only a change in how personal information is shared, but also how powerful social media can be as a way for people to express themselves and take control of their lives. This kind of direct contact can challenge the stories told by traditional media, giving people more control over their own stories and promoting honesty in public discourse. That's all for now. Thanks for seeing. Did you enjoy this video? If you did, please like, comment, and follow so you don't miss any of our new videos. Also, don't skip this movie you're seeing now. It is really amazing.